Hello children, how are you guys? Okay, children, you remember which lesson we started up with? Try recalling it. Okay, we started up with the structure of cell, structure and function of cell. Okay, and we studied about the discovery of cell. We studied that somebody by the name Robert Hooke discovered the cell in the year 1665. Okay, when he was working with the cork. Okay, and we studied that he was able to find something like building the skeleton of building like structure, and he discovered it as cell, and further the other scientists like developed his discovery. Okay, and what is meant by cell? I remember telling you cell is the structural and functional unit of all living organism. Okay, then I remember telling you guys like there are two types of cells, namely unicellular cells and multicellular cells based on the number of cells. Okay, if a cell is made up of a single cell, it is called as unicellular organism, and when an organism is made up of more than one cells, it's called as multicellular organism. Okay, and even it may be a unicellular organism or it may be a multicellular organism. All cells, okay, both unicellular and multicellular organism, they have all their physical activities, okay, and physiological activities going on inside them, like circulation, digestion, excretion, okay, reproduction. Everything will take place even if it is a single cellular organism. Okay, and we studied like the cell differs from plant cell and animal cell. If the cell has a very rigid cell wall, it is called as the plant cell, and in the case of animal cell, there is no cell wall, but it has only the cell membrane. Okay, all these I remember telling you in the last video. Okay, now we are going to continue with the shape of the cell. Okay, if you take or if you want to consider the shape of the cell, all the cells are not uniform. Okay, like some cells are spherical in shape, some cells are spindle in shape, some cells are, they show branched shape like trees. Okay, and there are cells who keeps changing their shape. Okay, so the shape of the cell keeps varying. Okay, if you take amoeba again, it is a unicellular organism. Okay, and they do not have a definite shape. Okay, if we take amoeba, it doesn't have a definite shape. Sometimes it may be spherical, and sometimes it may have a curved like structure around their body, namely the pseudopodia, which help them to walk, which is nothing but the false leg. Okay, the projections around their body, which helps them to move. Okay, and the same way in the case of white blood cells, it is which shape? Again, it is amoeboid in shape. Okay, we have 5 different types of WBCs. Okay, and when you come to the higher class, you'll be reading about it. Okay, and each WBC has its own function. Okay, even they are amoeboid in shape. Okay, and if you take RBC, it is spherical in shape, just plates, like the plates in the mess, how it is, like kept one above the other, like that. The cells of WRBC will be. Okay, and if you take the muscle cells, it keeps varying. It may be spindle shaped, it may be spherical shaped, it may be rod shaped. Okay, the cells of the muscle cells keeps varying. And if we take our human nerve cell, like to the discovery as of now, it is the longest cell ever noted. Okay, which is the longest cell means it's nothing but the nerve cell. Okay, it is like it has a branched structure. See, if you take uproot a plant, how it will be, you'll be able to find the root, you'll be able to find the stem, and you'll be able to find the branches, right? The same way the nerve cell will be. Okay, it has 3 different parts, namely axon, denton, and dendrites, axon, and cyton. Okay, there are types of 3 parts in a nerve cell: cyton, axon, and dendrites. Okay, it will be just like a tree uproot. I mean, just like a plant uprooted. And what does this nerve cell do? Means it conducts the messages. It responds to the stimuli and it conducts the messages. It's control and coordinate all the work which is done by our body. Okay, see, like I'm talking to you now, your ears are hearing it. Okay, and the messages reaches the brain, and you try to interpret what I'm telling. That it's because of the nerve cells. Okay, and if somebody touches you, or if some animals like ant or leech or mosquito bites you, you'll be able to feel. That's only because of the nerve cells which is present. Okay, so the nerve cells are the longest cell which coordinates and controls various parts of our body. Okay, and then children, in the case of a plant cell, as I already said, it has an additional covering in their body which is called as the cell wall. Okay, a plant cell has a cell wall which is made up of cellulose. Just hear these terms. Okay, cell wall is present only in the plant cell, and it is made up of what? Cellulose. It is again a type of carbohydrate which cannot be digested by us, but it can be digested by the animals, ruminants. Okay, because of which, in 7th standard you might have studied, there is a bacteria in the stomach to digest the cellulose. Okay, is that clear? And now let's move on to the size of the cell. Okay, there are cells which cannot be seen through our eye. Okay, if you see the smallest cell, the ovum, that is the egg. Egg is the smallest cell, it is microscopic. And if you take the biggest cell, it is ostrich egg. Okay, and if you take the longest cell, it is a nerve cell. So the size of the cells also keeps varying. It may be like, microns, very small, which can be seen only under the microscope. That too, electron microscope. Like, there is electron microscope in the zoo in Mysore, which is used to see the celestial bodies. Even if it is like very minute microns, you'll be able to find that. Okay, the division of cells and all, we can find it out in that microscope. Okay, and there are cells which can be seen through our naked eye. If you take the egg of hen, if you take egg of dove, or if you take the egg of ostrich, everything can be seen through our naked eye. So the size of the cells vary from microns to various centimeters. Okay, so it may be smaller and it may be bigger and it may be longer also. Okay, is that clear? Uh, is that clear, children? Okay, so in this class, we just studied about the shape of the cell and the size of the cell. We studied the shape of the cell keeps varying. Okay, not necessarily all the cells, but in the case of unicellular organism, in the case of WBC, the shape of the cell keeps varying. Okay, and it may be, spherical, oval, rectangular, or it may be hexagonal, or it may be square, it may be triangle. Then the cell's shape keeps varying. Like, when you come to your higher class again, you'll be drawing the diagram of plant cell, especially like tissues. Now again, in 9th standard you will be reading about the tissues, like something called as parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma cells and all. They have their own regular shapes. Some may be oval, some may be hexagonal, some may be triangular. Okay, some may be pocket shaped. So the shape of the cells keeps varying. And the next one is the size of the cell. If you take the size of the cell, even the size of the cell keeps varying. It varies from few microns to centimeters. Okay, the smallest cell is the ovum, that is the egg cell, and the bigger cell is the ostrich egg, and the longest cell is a nerve cell. Is that clear, children? Okay, bye.